Welcome to Toot Your Own Horn, Music Matters. Today I am here with Alan Stanek. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here.
I am so happy for you to tell your story. You have, I'm sure, a remarkable story to tell about how you chose your instrument and where it led you. So tell us where you began.
Okay. When I was young, in the fourth grade, I wanted to play an instrument. And my sister, who was older, sisters who were older, said, well, I should contact the junior high band director because he could help me. And so we made an appointment to meet him. And he said, well, what instrument do you want to play? And I said, I want to play the trombone. And he looked at me and said, your arms are too short to play the trombone. How would you like to play the clarinet? And I said, good enough for me. So my dad bought me a clarinet, a metal clarinet, a Continental Colonel clarinet.
Had you ever heard it? Did you just accept what he told you? Like, did you even know what it was?
Yep. I mean, my sisters had all been taking piano lessons, voice lessons. They were older than I. So I signed up, got the clarinet, and took my first lesson with Mr. Schultz and went to his home every week and paid $3 a lesson in 1948. That's pretty expensive for a dad who was paying $5 for my oldest sister playing piano lessons and $5 for my other sister who was taking voice lessons and piano lessons, because there were no elementary band program in the Denver public schools at that time per se. People studied in Denver. If you were a clarinetist or other instrumentalist, you went to the police band, and they had like an academy, and they that was really good. I mean, they really learned technique about scales and all that. I just started in the Rubank Elementary book and went all through intermediate, advanced, and had a couple of teachers after that. My high school band director had me play the Mozart Concerto at solo contest as a senior, and off to college I went as a music major.
Wow. And why was music so captivating? How did you just know it was your thing?
I just love listening to music. My parents were very encouraging. Playing in a band and orchestra just was the thing to do.
Were you good at other things?
I was not good at sports except swimming. So
What about academics? Did your folks encourage you to look at an academic track?
well, I took a college prep course in high school, so everything except foreign language.
Hmm.
And at college, foreign language wasn't required at the time.
Hmm. What did you think you were going to do with this? Did you just love to play and so this was the path, or were
I
you...
wanted to be a band director.
Okay.
And by the time I got to junior high school, I was first chair in the band, and Mr. Dietrich now let me conduct every once in a while. And in high school, I actually, when I went to high school was 10th through 12th. I decided that I'd sing instead, so I had to be in the boys' glee club, and then graduated after a semester into the senior high choir. And then I said, oh, enough of that. I want to go back to band. So I played my junior, senior year in band. And when I got in all-state band, and my sister had gone to Colorado, and it was called Greeley. It was a teacher's college. I thought I would go there because the all-state band rehearsed there, and Nyla Hovey conducted, and they weren't offering scholarships, and I'm glad because I had to play. I won't name the clarinet, but it was insisted. So anyway, the band director from the University of Colorado came to my school because my band director was the associate. He was an adjunct saxophone teacher at the university at the time, but he just talked about the university band program and asked if anybody wanted to audition, and three of us went up one evening after school and auditioned, and all three of us got scholarships. They were called grant in aids. I got it for 3 years or 4 years in a row. It was $54 a year, but $27 each semester would pay for books. So, and tuition was $150 at the time, a semester.
Incredible.
So,
Did you spend all your time in the practice room, or what did you do with your time as you were developing?
well, a lot of it in the practice room. I had to work in the dorm food service. I was they called it hashing, and so we had a line where we served food, and at dinner time it was set at a table with everybody, and we served it. So we were like waiters.
Mm-hmm.
That was at Bory's dorm. So.
Mm-hmm. And so, did you graduate with an ed degree, and did you become?
I graduated with a Bachelor of Music Education degree, and I became a band director in high school in Nebraska. And I heard a wonderful band at my first Nebraska Music Educators meeting, and that band was perfectly balanced. It was like an Eastman Wind ensemble with everybody playing a professional horn.
Wow.
Where did this guy go to school? Oh, Eastman School. So, okay, that's where I'm going. And I did. I got a master's degree at Eastman, studied clarinet there, took a couple summers workshops, studied saxophone with Sigurd Rascher, French horn with, I can't think of that guy's name now, but he was great. And viola from Francis Tercy. I was interested in starting a orchestra program, or conducting an orchestra. Came back, high school band again. Could not convince the administration to start a spring program. I thought we should because we had hundreds of kids in a band. The high school band was over 100. The junior high A band was 120. Surely somebody want to play strings, but they didn't want to spend that. Then I got a college job at Hastings College. I was the orchestra director. I was the woodwind teacher. And that's that.
That's amazing. How did you feel about working with kids?
I loved working with kids. Most of the kids were, really, really well. I mean, I didn't have any trouble with kids being they just were great. They practiced and they played well.
What do you think got them to be so engaged? Because right now in our world, they're not as engaged.
Well, I'm in Nebraska now, after having taught in Idaho for a long time, and the band's there and the orchestra's there. The kids were really involved. Here in Nebraska, bands and orchestras and choirs are the thing to be a.
How do we get more kids to be in the thing? How do we get more kids to do that?
I don't know why they do it, but they do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a thing of belonging together, working together. You're not alone.
Mm-hmm. I think kids feel alone today. I think that's a very valid point, that it really helps them feel connected.
Yeah.
And also the sense of accomplishment.
Yeah. And I play in a band and an orchestra here. Band is an adult concert band. No high school students. where I played before in a municipal band. There were high school students if they were good. But the orchestra I play in is interesting because the students or the people have to be 25 years or younger or 50 years or older.
Oh,
And so the older ones are mentors to the younger. And I know when I first joined the Intergenerational Orchestra of Omaha, the alto saxophone player sitting next to me was 10 years old, and she was great.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And is the mentorship program by design? In other words, is it official?
It was organized in 40 years ago by the Eastern Nebraska Office on Aging, and they called Chuck Pennington of Mannheim Steamroller fame to organize such an orchestra. And he said, "There's no music," and they said, "Oh, what are you going to do?" He said he'd do it, so he wrote all the music or arranged pieces, and so we play in nursing homes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I bet they love it there.
They do. I mean, of course, they're elderly people, and so we play music that they would remember. And he talks about the original composer of, and how that piece got, or maybe who if it's a vocal piece, who would be the singer of note, and so on.
That's really cool. Are you still playing in that group?
Yes.
How do you, or what kind of feedback do you get about mentorship? Like I got, that's a great experience for those kids.
Most of them recently, in fact, in the clarinet section, it's two old guys. So I'm not mentoring anybody there. But I remember it's probably been 2 years ago, there was a saxophone player that also was first chair clarinet player in the all-state orchestra. So she had to be pretty good. So I talked to her a lot, and we were almost ready to have lessons, and then she went off to college. And so I never had the opportunity to mentor her, but I did send her lots of materials of what she would be expected to play, probably if she was going to take up clarinet at a university somewhere. But she's in a doctoral program, an MD program. She wants to be a physician. So
Oh, wow. But she's still playing.
yes,
Do you think that format has helped people play for life?
of course. Uh, the gentleman that sits next to me is he was in the Navy in World War II. Well, after World War II, but he's an engineer, and he's played clarinet and saxophone, forever. And so
What do you think are the key aspects of that mentorship that makes that sticky?
I I don't really have any idea. I think people just want to play, and um, the recruiting is person to person. And so the kids recruit other kids, and I was recruited by a former student that was a retired band director. Said, "You ought to do this, Alan." And I said, "What kind of orchestra is this? Where do they meet?" "Oh, they meet in a church." I said, "Ooh, is it a church orchestra?" No, come and find out. So I did, and I loved it.
Awesome. I think role models are really important, and I think it helps people realize they can play for a long time because I'm not sure everybody realizes that it's something to do for life.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. If somebody was listening to this podcast and really interested by your story, what would you tell them to decide to play a wind instrument right now to try?
I just think that the making music, however you make it, on a flute or a French horn or a saxophone, or whether you make it by, my mother whistled. My dad played one tune on the piano. you know, just something that I don't know. I don't know what it does to me. It just makes me feel really good and belonging. I belong to something. When I moved here 14 years ago, I had no idea what I would do. Like I hadn't taught for 10 years. I didn't want to teach again. I moved here because my only granddaughter was here and my daughter and her husband. And she said, "Well, Dad, there's a concert tonight out at the amphitheater. You want to go?" And I said, "Sure." So, and there's Ken Mosier. I know, I've heard of him forever, and he'd heard of me forever, and we clicked. And so I'm now a clarinet player in the back band.
Yeah, if you wanna belong, play a wind instrument.
Yeah. So I really thought that maybe my wife would have a harder time when we moved here because she was so active in the art center in Pocatello. But it was me that didn't know what I was going to do.
And you've probably known your whole life what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
It's turned out all right though, because you love it.
Yeah.
But and if you want to get mentored, they can join your group.
That's right. Yeah. Well, the conductor is a good mentor to everybody too. And so
Yeah, that's awesome. Alan, thank you for sharing your story.